So something catastrophic happened recently that I want to talk about. Recently, a guy, I don't know this guy, but recently a guy was out herping, and like most of the time people are out herping, they're kind of in remote locations. This particular guy was road cruising, so he was out herping along a roadway, and he stopped, as herpers do when they find a snake in the road, to take pictures and video, look at the animal, maybe scoot the animal off the road afterwards. And unfortunately, he was struck by a car and killed. So obviously this is a horrible situation. I don't know this person, so I don't have any special insights or connections into this individual. But I do know that this person was from. So first of all, this happened in Arizona. It happened just last week, I believe, and this herper was from Florida. And it was, again, I said I don't know this individual, but it seems like this person was a well-known herper, someone who had been herping for a long time, lots of experience. But nonetheless, this happened. So the reason I bring it up is just as a learning experience, right? Just as an opportunity to talk about safety while herping. So there's lots of things to watch out for when you're herping. Since this one happened while road cruising, let's talk about that first. So lots of times when we're out herping, there are roads, narrow roads that don't have a shoulder, windy roads with blind corners, blind turns, and it's just not safe to stop a car to take a look, right, at snakes. And so when you're on a road like that, you should seriously consider not herping it, right? If there's not a place to pull over, if it's a windy road where people aren't going to be able to see you if you stop, you really should not be road cruising on that road. So even though there's less traffic at night, it's still just a very dangerous thing to do. If you really need to herp that area, there's other ways to do it, right? You can herp on foot on the side of the road. You can find a hiking trail that's in the area. Maybe you can herp from a dirt road that's in the area. So there's usually other options, and it's just not worth it, right? It's not worth it to risk your life or to risk the lives of the other drivers in order to herp like that, right? Another way this tragedy could have happened is a vehicle was driving down the road. Maybe they didn't know that somebody was around the corner. They were possibly even driving the speed limit, and suddenly they come around the corner and they're not expecting for there to be a person standing in the middle of the road. Maybe they swerve, go off the road, and injure or kill themselves. So, right, there's a lot of different ways that this can be harmful. So think about what you're doing, right? Be careful. It's not worth, like I said, it's not worth your life and your safety. We all get excited. We see a snake in the road and we just have to stop and we just have to look at it. I understand that. And so that's why it's just a good idea not to herp those kinds of roads to begin with. Like I said, it's not worth your life. It's not worth the safety of other people to see the snake, to stop and take pictures and videos. It's just not worth the risk. You are more important than the picture. You are more important than the video. And even if your goal was to save the snake, get it out of the roadway, you're more important than the snake. So keep that in mind. But not only that, right? There's other things to watch out for, right? So when you're herping, let's get away from road cruising now. So let's make sure, if you're out night hiking, right? Make sure that you know where you're going. Make sure that you are aware of the dangerous natural features in the area where you're at, right? Make sure you know where the cliffs are. Make sure you know where anything that could be dangerous, right? You gotta have your wits about you. Make sure you're not walking through knee-high grass that you can't see, right? You don't want to get bitten by a rattlesnake. Just because you're not doing something that's safe. There's just so many ways that you just need to make sure that you're careful. Lots of things can happen when you're out herping. There could be weather events, right? There could be lightning, right? Don't go hiking up at the top of a mountain during a lightning storm. Don't go hiking in slot canyons or in washes when there's a big rainstorm that's upstream. You really do need to be careful. Herping is a wonderful hobby. It's a wonderful activity to get out in nature. But when you're doing anything in the outdoors or anything when you're driving a vehicle, you have got to be careful. Let me tell you one quick experience that I had. So this was many years ago when I was about 18 years old. I was driving my first car. I was herping a road, and I saw illuminated in the headlights just the tail of a snake. Right, the snake was moving fast, and it was getting off the road into the vegetation. And as any herper knows, if you're road cruising at night and a snake gets into some thick vegetation, chances are you are not going to see that snake again. So I quickly got out of my car as fast as I could, ran over. I left the door to the driver's side door to my vehicle open so I could run out to this snake and capture it before it got into the brush. Right, I picked up the snake. It was a glossy snake, right? It was the very first adult glossy snake that I had ever found in the wild. So I was pretty happy with that. And as I was looking at the snake, I noticed the headlights of another vehicle coming up the road. So I started heading back towards my car because I knew my car was just kind of parked right there in the road where it shouldn't have been. And just to my surprise, when I started heading towards my car, I noticed that the headlights were actually coming from my own car. My car was driving on its own in reverse. Okay, so in my haste, right, to get out and catch this snake, I left the driver door open. I put my vehicle in what I thought was park, but it actually, right, park is right next to reverse. I was just one little notch away from park, and I actually put my car in reverse. The scary thing is that this car, I started chasing after the car, and I noticed, of course, I still have this snake in my hand as I'm running, and I notice as my car is driving in reverse that I'm not catching up to my car. My car is driving faster on its own in reverse than what I'm capable of running. So as I'm running, again, with this snake in my hand, wondering what I should do, getting tired, I'm just, in my mind, I have no idea how this problem is going to resolve itself. This particular road drives along the edge of a river, and the road started curving because the river curved at that particular spot. So as I'm running after my car, getting tired, I see my car leaving the road at the curve and heading towards the river. You know, again, like I said, I was 18. This was my first car that my mother bought for me. So in my mind, I'm just thinking, what am I gonna tell my mother? I continue chasing after the car as best I can. The car is just kind of bumping along as it's driving off the roadway. And luckily, as it's approaching the river, right, there was some sand along the river, and the car tops out on a sandbar, and the engine stops. I went and I shined my flashlight at the back of the car, and it is just feet away from falling over a ledge right along the edge of the river. So this is my own personal experience, right? You got to be careful. I was not careful, right? I was young. I was excited for the snake. And tragedy happened, right? It could have been much worse than that. So you got to be careful, guys. I'm not saying that this individual who was struck by the car was doing anything wrong. I don't have those details. It could be that it was completely the fault of the other driver. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, there's danger out there. You've got to be careful, right? Practice safety measures. Watch while you're driving, right? Be careful if you're turning around to find a snake that you've passed. Make sure that there's no other cars coming. You just got to be careful. So that's the moral of the story. Thanks for watching the video, and be careful while you're herping.